Where's my other button? That should be good. Right then. Hello and welcome to another weekly episode of the Beer Fridge podcast. On this week's podcast, we've got a brewery showcase with Vibrant Forrest.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Yes, your home of no thinking, drinking the Beer Fridge podcast, your home of real beer, real breweries, real opinions. As always, if you listen to this episode, make sure you subscribe, hit that ding-a-ling-a-ling to be notified of every single episode. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure you do exactly the same. You can show your support by giving us a 5-star rating, or your official support by going to patreon.com/beer Fridge podcast. As always, my name is Gavin. I've got my drinking friends in the form of Scott and Callum. Good evening, gentlemen.
Good eve, by the way. I'm out of the moon at the fact
Hello.
you changed your name. As always, my name is Gavin.
Aye, as always. Like
As
just
always,
in case.
Just
Just in
good. Boys
case
at
I
people
forget.
are a bit busy on their own stuff, so that's good you've not added to that problem.
Go fuck yourself. On this week's episode, I've said that, and my phone thinks that I'm talking to it. It's just popped up. As I mentioned, this week we've got a brewery showcase, and we are joined by Ryan from Vibrant Forrest. Good evening, mate. How you doing?
Yeah, very well, guys. How you doing? Thanks for having me tonight.
Very,
you're more
very
than
well.
welcome to be
Looking
here.
forward to it. Looking forward to it. Fun. Let's start off as we normally do. Go around the virtual table and see what we're drinking to kick things off.
Let's go around the table.
Callum, kick us off, mate.
I'm struggling to not just neck this in one go because I've only been in the house about 15 minutes ago, but I've opened a can of Pupa, we'll call it that, Juicy Pale Ale, 4.5%. This is lovely. It's really, really nice. It sits, according to the packaging on the back, it sits in the middle between East and West, but since it's called a Pale Ale and not a Mountain IPA or some other stupid name for it, we can forgive or not forgive. We can just crack straight on with the beer, and it's really, really nice. It does exactly what it says it does. It's proper juicy, but at the same time, it's got a really nice bitterness. It's got a great body for it being only 4.5. It's rammed full of oats, and it's so the body is really substantial and really refreshing at the same time. But yeah, it's delicious. What hops are in it, Ryan?
A bit of a mixture, actually. I think we've got 5 different hops in that. We've got Simcoe, Mosaic, there's a bit of Centennial in there, a bit of Amarillo as well, both T90 and Cryo. So it's a real mixture, that one. So yeah, that'd be pretty much probably, it is by an absolute mile our best-selling beer. So yeah, it's one we can't really stop making now for a good reason. You know, we wouldn't be allowed to. So yeah, it's gone really well, that one.
And this particular can that I'm drinking was only filled right just before Christmas, 17th of December, so it's pretty fresh, still in the can, and you can definitely taste that. It's lovely.
Be honest.
What a shite randomizer I got him on there, eh? That's nonsense. I was like, I'll give him a couple of, I'll pick a couple of cans. I was like, Pooja, I didn't really read too much. I was like, I'll go, right, okay, you can have that, Ian. I'll give him the stout since he said he was thirsty.
I feel to be told that it was flaming an 11.5% imperial stout. So I'm going to have to twist my.
I didn't even read it. It was almost random. So I think you might have won. Only ever so slightly though, because I'm over the moon with my choices as well.
Be honest, Ryan. Were we ever tempted to call it a Mountain IPA?
No, I can't be bothered, mate, to be honest, in the nicest way possible. It's a question we get quite a lot when we do tours and stuff. People try and ask me, what does this mean? And what does this mean? And who knows, Matt? It's just blurred lines. Most of it's marketing at this point. The beer should sell the beer. And so, yeah, the styles, we go pretty simple, to be honest. Most of our pale ales are called pale ales. Most of our IPAs are just called IPAs. And it's kind of where we leave it, to be honest.
And exactly where it should be left.
Yeah, that's how I feel about them anyway.
Exactly where it should be left. I am on the lager. I just had the can. I fucking threw it away. That's there. Vibrant Forest lager. It's exactly what you want from a lager. 4.1%, sitting right there, where all the macros are going down the way. I think the crafts are just keeping it where it is. 4.1%, exactly what you want from a lager. Clean, crisp, fucking quaffable. That kind of bready kind of breadiness coming through as well. So this is for me a perfect starter beer for the podcast and for the evening after my toddler's been an absolute nightmare for the last 2 hours and I've just left her in the house with the wife and I've just run away to drink beer and record a podcast. So it's perfect. And I think Marky Boy's got that one, so I'm sure we'll get a further review later in the week with that beer. Gilroy, yourself, what you got, mate?
Yeah, so I went for there was a Goza in the box, so I decided I would go for Goz.
Go for those.
Yeah, and this is pun name, obviously, and I'll tell you who it is that were originally involved in it in a second, and you'll know why the pun name's there. So this is it's a Fruits of the Forest Goz. It's 5.5%, which is a lovely kind of perfect ABV for that kind of style as well. It was originally a collab, I think, with Brew York, Shock Horror. Those of pun name fame. They kind of walk past an obvious pun without taking advantage. So aptly named. It's blackberry, red currant, and cherries. It's got loads of notes of raspberry on it. Exactly the right fruits. If you're going to do something sour, they're the fruits you want to go for. They lend themselves perfectly to that kind of tartness that comes through. It's incredibly refreshing. It's got that kind of salty kick at the end, which you're looking for in the style. And at 5.5% is perfect. It's a real winner. Looks great in the glass as well, which you've got to do. Right, you've got to have the.
Let's see that again.
Visual. I know, don't close up on my face.
No, sorry, just hide it with the glass, mate.
Thank you. And I got a looking fork, an 8K filter on it. And it's absolutely superb. I'm really enjoying it. So how many rebrews has this been through, Ryan, since the original collab?
This is the first time we've done it since we collabed. So I want to say it was about 2 years ago they came down. But with this, we changed the recipe a little bit with the fruits. We just wanted something a little bit different, and we probably changed it a little bit too much to just put it in the same label and the same can. But the essence of the beer is still there. It's very similar in terms of sort of color, style. It's just we changed the purees and the fruits that are in it a little bit. Took a few bits out, added a bit more some other stuff. So yeah, the original can as well is like very similar, but we probably just changed it a little bit too much to just sort of whack their name on it again. You know, it didn't feel right. So yeah, just a very slight change.
A good ode to them, and it's definitely got all the hallmarks of that particular style, and it's I love how present the fruit is in it. You properly get it, so it's not like it's there as a kind of afterthought, which obviously
there's a fair whack of fruit in there, mate. Don't worry about that.
It's that would have been a bugger to clean it, I'd imagine.
Yeah, and it's not cheap either. It's not cheap either.
So, no, not cheap at all.
Just for the right reasons, you know, it's good stuff.
Definitely.
Excellent.
Looks and tastes superb.
You've got to tell them what it's called. You haven't told them the name yet.
I know.
How berry dare you?
Ah, there you go.
How berry dare you?
I genuinely thought you said the pun and I just missed it.
I did say how berry dare you, but
Did you?
it didn't look like, it didn't sound like a name. I didn't get the fanfare of, and it's called.
No, you never.
How berry dare you? There you go. It's excellent. Some pun.
Good stuff. Like I said, we've got Ryan from Vibrant Forest joined this evening. I think the obvious question to start things off with is like how the brewery started and the kind of 10-year history that is of Vibrant Forest.
Yeah, of course, lad. So, like, essentially, we were founded by a guy called Kev. Kev's still very much involved, director and sort of sole founder. Basically, the quick history would be started in his garage as a part-time hobby. Started doing sort of some beer festival beers and some, one barrel kit in his garage on the evening and weekends. Entered a few sort of camera festivals, bottled a few spits, done really well. Won a few festivals like in his first 6 months of brewing. So kind of just built from there, and then got made redundant a couple of years later in his IT job. 2014, I want to say, and just went full in, like life savings, brew kit, found a one little industrial unit in the forest, and kind of went full time from there. So originally founded in 2011, went sort of, I guess you'd say, professional 2014. So what are we now, 13, 14 years later? We sort of moved to where we are now, end of 2018, beginning of 2019. So we're kind of now 4 new industrial units next to each other, big brew house and stuff. And it's all been, we're really proud, you know, it's all been independent. It's all been natural. It's all been sort of organic. When we've got enough money for something, we'll buy it. You know, we're not, we like to, you know, we do it all ourselves. We try and make smart decisions as much as we can. They're not always the right ones. But yeah, and we've got a team, I don't know what we are now, maybe 12 or 13 of us in total.
Wow.
Brew house, obviously, we've got our own tap room, and we've also got a bar as well, a bit further into the New Forest. So Kev's now sort of a director, sort of pops in every now and then, and me and him work really closely together. And my job is essentially to be the sort of expert of nothing, but making sure the experts are sort of working together enough that we've all still got jobs at the end of the day, you know.
The glue guy.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, that's how I'd sort of say, like, not really any sort of expertise instead of sort of just making everyone sort of work in harmony and make sure that the salespeople have got enough beer and the brewers are making the right beer and the tap rooms are running, and basically, essentially, just sitting in the office paying bills. But I tried to make it sound a bit more exciting than that.
I think the thing to touch on as well, and it's my fault for not mentioning it as well. You guys are based just outside the New Forest, hence the name, I assume.
Yeah, so we are, Southampton is basically the middle of the country, obviously on the south coast, and we are 20 minutes to the left of that, if you were looking on the map, which is in an area just next to the New Forest. So our industrial units, our brew house, the back of the brew house literally is the forest, backs onto the New Forest National Park. So yeah, it's a pretty amazing place, to be honest. I've lived down here maybe like 6-7 years now, and it's pretty cool. You know, wild horses and wild pigs and stuff like that roaming around.
What I was going to ask you there, did you get any of the horses kicking about?
Yeah, literally, if you walked behind our brewery now, you'd come across some straight away, wild horses and cows and stuff. And yeah, it's pretty hard to get used to. You can always spot a tourist because they're still taking photos of them.
Yeah.
But no, it's fantastic. It's an amazing place. We're like 5 minutes away from the beach as well, and like 20 minutes from Southampton. So it kind of works well in whatever you're looking for, really.
And there's a tap room at the brew site. That's right, eh?
Yeah. So one of the units now is just a full-on 2-story tap room. And then our little bar that we opened this summer is basically 20 minutes further into the forest in one of sort of, I guess you would call it like a tourist town. It's not a town, village maybe, tourist village.
Yeah, it's Lyndhurst it's called, isn't it? Yeah.
Lyndhurst, yeah. So it's quite
right.
big for campers and lots of tea rooms and lots of lovely stuff to buy in little jars with little labels on and stuff like that, you know. So
once you're fed up with all that, the alternative is to come and visit the bar and have a.
That's it. We've got the bar there, so they take all our beer.
Escapism.
Yeah, we've got a really good street food kitchen in there, and obviously the bar gets all the Vibrant beer as well as all the stuff that we maybe don't release anywhere except the tap room. You know, whether it's pilot brews or small brews or whatever we want to do, really. So they get all that good stuff as well. So yeah, it's good. We opened that in, I want to say, May this year. We done it.
Mm-hmm.
And again, that was all, we found it, we got it, and we sort of walked in there on day one, goes, right, what's the plan? No idea. And we managed to somehow put something together between 3 of us and a handyman called Matt, who's an absolute lifesaver. So, yeah, we've been up and running a good 6 months, I guess, now. So it's maybe more. So it's done really well so far. We're really happy with it.
Good stuff.
I think that's the thing, like looking through the website and looking through your back catalogue of beers and your venture over the last kind of decade or so, like as you mentioned there, it's been natural growth. It's not been forced. It's not like, oh, we're going to go in this direction because of this. We're going to do a crowdfunder to get X, Y, and Z. Like you said, it's all off natural growth. And okay, you're selling so much now that you need an extra space, or you need to take an extra unit in the warehouse, or you've got the opportunity, like you said, to have that tap room, which is nice to hear, instead of smaller breweries or newer breweries that have only been in the game 3, maybe 5 years, forcing like growth upon themselves, and then you end up seeing them go bust and stuff. So it's nice to hear a more natural kind of growth than a forced one
Yeah, I mean, it's stressful as well, mate. Don't get me wrong. You know, this industry is a weird one. There's not many sort of. I was thinking about this the other day because I was listening. So I had to do. Our delivery driver was off sick yesterday, so I had to do about 5-hour round trip to London and back. So I was listening to the last episode you did about the sort of the hype beers and stuff.
Yeah,
and I was thinking, it made me think, which I love about this industry, is like no successful businessman sort of goes in to start a brewery. It's usually started by someone who loves beer, loves making beer, the craft side. So every brewery, it made me think every brewery I've ever come across where I've met at beer festivals or I'm friends with now, they all started a different way. They make now different beer, and it could all be based off their first bit of success or their first success of where they sold it or their first beer that started selling well. And that kind of set the path then for where they are now or how they got there. And obviously you take inspiration from other people when you do stuff, but it just means that everyone's on a very similar but a very different journey as well, you know. And I think with us, I'd say one of the things we'd probably be guilty of being not the best of is probably the marketing side. We kind of slowly but surely, you know, we've got to pay the bills, let's get these beers sold, and we get good feedback and we love good feedback, but maybe getting ourselves sort of in the spotlight and out and about and sort of in front of everyone has not been our strongest suit. We've kind of been a bit more of a head down, concentrate on the beer and sort of hope the rest will come, which I don't know if that really cuts it anymore. You have to be out there, be a little bit showy in the right places, I think.
Yeah,
There's
I think
enough-
there's
a lot of sorry, Cam. There's a lot of, and I mean, that's the introverts kind of go to is to do some artisanal and be really good at it. I mean, we've spoken to how many brewers, and there's one in particular that does the old blended and weird and wonderful sour stuff in Wales that I'll not mention because he doesn't like to be mentioned, but he actively hates the fact that people talk positively about his beer. So it's definitely that kind of world, isn't it? It's a place where I think you maybe can still, but I kind of agree with you, Ryan. You've got to be. It's not. I hate that saturated sound shit. It's just really, really good that there's so many out there. I think it's saturated. I think it's just really cool that there's loads of breweries out there. But you have got to kind of put yourself out in front and put a stamp on things. And you've already mentioned, you utilize the space you're in or the area that you're in to your advantage, that's cool. That's a novel and unique angle to take advantage on because there's nobody. Well, no, within that area anyway, there's nobody else in that space that's doing the same thing to the same extent with the same ingredients, right?
No, exactly. And I think, a couple of bits. So the beer scene, I guess, in the New Forest now is not necessarily one that most people want to know, but there is a lot of nice little places now that are popping up. Not necessarily big scale, but some really good little breweries that if you're on a day out with your family, you pop in, they've got their own bar and they're making some really good little beers. I think most of that was driven by Kev originally, like sort of 10, 11 years ago, making these hoppy beers. And probably the first half of our existence was a real struggle to actually sell our beer in the New Forest. So we did a lot of export, a lot of sort of Londons and Brightons and Bristols and stuff, but to sell our beer in the New Forest. So the New Forest, for anyone who hasn't been, is very much thatched roofs and see-through warm brown beer. You know, like that's what you're going to get. And it is changing now completely. Like we got our beer in a lot of local places, but for probably until about 3 or 4 years ago, it was very difficult for us to actually sell our beer in the New Forest and be able to sort of have it as a badge of honor for a lot of pubs that this brewery is down the road. And, you know, it's taken a while and it's just a good old sort of knocking on doors and trying to educate people. And I think that's across the whole sort of society now. People know the beer a lot more. But yeah, it's taken a while. But like the scene now, especially in Southampton in the last 3 or 4 years, has got so much better with bars popping up, micro pubs and stuff. And the New Forest is coming along. There's if you can get down and get a designated driver, you can have a good old bar crawl. But that's the problem. You will need a driver or a horse will do.
Just Christ, that experience.
But was there ever a temptation to brew beer that the local population or that suited the style, suited the area that you were in?
Yeah.
Or is it all?
Go on, sorry, mate.
I was just going to say, has it always been the case that you've kind of that you've kind of stuck to your guns and brewed what you wanted to drink rather than what other people were drinking?
Two ways really. So back in the day, there is a blip in our history of about 6 months maybe where we We tested with filings and stuff in our beer. We still made the same styles of beer, but tested with filings, and it didn't last long. We decided to go the other way. Well, Kev decided to go the other way and started printing like brochures and posters about that it's hazy beer and it's meant to be and all that good stuff, and trying to educate the local market. But with that being said, like even now we do cask only releases that are golden ales, best bitters, because they're great styles of beer. You know, there's nothing wrong with them at all, and a lot of the people work here love drinking them. But we just do them maybe with our little twist or our little way, you know. But yeah, we Kev was very much stick to the guns, educate people, get there, and yeah, I think we got there. Like we're still here, so we've done something right up until now. But yeah, there's always that little bit of pressure, isn't there? I suppose, especially when you've got to drive 2 hours to deliver your beer rather than drive 20 minutes to deliver your beer. So.
That's true. I've put there's a bit off your website and encourage people to go in there and go in the web shop and stuff and have a look around. And there's a part of it which I read it and I was like, that's just fucking, I love that. And we only want to make beers we want to drink ourselves, and will not be forced into brewing novelty beers with the aim of increased PR. Fucking love it. I was like, yes.
Yeah, that sounds like a bit of a mission. It's not necessarily, I wouldn't say it's that deep, but yeah, we do kind of believe that. We don't, it does sound like a bit of a war cry, but no, yeah, we
don't get me wrong, that quote is like, it's very deep in that, in that paragraph, to be fair.
Yeah, I mean, it's true. It is true. We don't do stuff like that, really. Don't get me wrong. There comes times where if you see enough certain type of beer around, you want to have a try of it if it's for the right reasons, if you've tried a few and you enjoy them and stuff. But in terms of the bandwagon stuff, it's not really for us. It's not really. We wouldn't drink it, you know. And why would we want to make it if we can't drink it for free? What's the point, you know?
Exactly.
It is probably tough, like, when you see these other brands, these other breweries flying for something, or if you truly believe in it, then we might have a go. But we've recently had this discussion actually in the office because we get, obviously, like most breweries do, we get asked every year for Christmas beer. And we've never made a Christmas beer, and we're not in any rush to ever really make a Christmas beer. But what me and the head brewer did, well, we had planned, we basically small batched of like 20 bottles of this Christmas beer that we made just for the staff. And the Christmas period was so manic that they still haven't got it yet. So there is, down there in the brewery somewhere, there's 2 cases of bottles of a very kind of randomly made Christmas beer that me and the head brewer made on a Tuesday afternoon, on a pilot kit. So yeah, that'll be, I don't know, we'll get that out at some point and see what it's actually. I think we can't remember what we put in it now. It was like fruits and raisins, and I think we put like a Christmas cake mix in it or something. It was very random, but that was almost just to shut the sales team up who keep getting asked for a Christmas beer, you know.
Damn! I was waiting on the 3rd edition of Rudolph's Carrot. Making an appearance, you know. Unbelievable.
You've potentially, and I think you've already kind of answered this, but I wanted to ask, what makes Vibrant Forest different from the other guys in Europe?
Yeah, see, I was thinking this because I knew you were going to ask me something like this, and it's, to be honest, it's something I get asked quite a bit, and I sometimes feel a bit odd that maybe we don't have like a mission statement. Like we don't have a big thing written on the office wall that we all sort of tap on the way out and stuff. I guess for us, we just want to make real high quality beer consistently and really play with the style. So like you said, I can't remember what was in the box I gave you boys, but there's lagers and there's pilsners and gozers and a barrel aged stout and there's a dipper. And but yeah, we just want to really perfect the craft, make good quality beer that will sell to people, you know, and make sure that month by month, year by year, we've still got the team employed in jobs and we're still making great beer. And we just want to do this forever, mate, to be honest. Like, why wouldn't we? It's a fantastic industry. We all love what we do here. And if we can put some good beer out and get people to enjoy our beer whilst we get to make it and enjoy making it, there's nothing better than that as far as we're concerned.
No, definitely. It's one of those things, like, you don't have to be doing like crazy stuff. You can, and we've mentioned it numerous times, like, just, I don't want to say the word simple things, but doing the easy things and making good quality beer and just making it good quality beer. People will come and people will drink the beer if you just stay consistent and it's just good fucking beer.
Yeah, we do play. Like, I don't want people to think that we just make sort of a couple of pale ales and happy days. Like, we do a lot of barrel aged stuff with adjuncts and stuff. I think last year we did a cucumber and mint sour for the summer. which was one of my favourite beers we've ever done. So
be
we do
years,
play.
Okay.
Yeah, we do play. We just play, when the time's right. It's not necessarily kind of like silly beer after silly beer after silly beer.
Yeah.
It's a bit of playing around, and then we have the pilot kit down the end. I think it's like 100-litre little kit that there's constantly something in there for the tap room or for a beer festival. So it gives the brewers a chance to really play around and mess around on there as well. So it's a real fine line. If we are playing around, or if we do use an ingredient that maybe is a bit obscure, it's because we believe it tastes nice, not because we necessarily believe the name of that ingredient will sell the beer. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't want to sound preachy about the quality stuff. It's just that's what we like. When it comes to beer, I think that everyone's got different tastes and like what they prefer, but everyone can sort of agree on quality.
Yeah.
So you might like beers more than other beers and stuff, but you can always sort of agree that someone has made good quality beer, even if they've used a hop you don't like or whatever it might be. And that's where we want to be. Our beers, every beer we make is not for every drinker, but hopefully they would appreciate the quality is always there. That's what we want to try and get to anyway,
Unless you're an arsehole untapped user.
I was going to say, you're upset you've not got your mission statement doesn't revolve around when you were an Atlantic fisherman in the North Sea. No? Fucking idiot.
No, I could go and try and wrangle a few horses in the forest.
Well, that's it today. Wrangled horses. When I wrangled horses one Wednesday in the New Forest.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah,
that's what we need. That's what needs to be on the social media page. A video of you running to the New Forest chasing horses, while Susan Boyle singing Wild Horses in the background. That's a million views right there.
Okay, I'll do it if I get 1 million views. I was going to say something about that then. So about Untapped, I was going to mention Untapped anyway because it is a fickle.
Your absolute favourite, is it?
It's one of them things where, like, if it got deleted tomorrow, I wouldn't mind, but also I check it every day.
Yep.
Do you know what I mean? Like, and
it's a great way of describing it. I don't think I've ever heard anybody describe it like that before.
Yeah.
Like, if it didn't exist tomorrow, I would not be arsed. Like, if anything, I would have a slight smile on my face. But I will log in every day.
Yeah, I mean, it's essentially my homepage at this point on my phone. To be fair, like, but it's a weird one because the negative side, like, I listened to one of you guys the other day saying, I don't like sours 0.5.
That's it, and it's like allergic. It's like how very dare you? Goes for Vibrant Forest 5.5%. Allergic to raspberries 2 stars.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
Yeah. So those ones you kind of go, yeah, fair enough. You're not going to win those, but for the most part, they're positive, and it's just nice to see. I think anyone just likes having a bit of an ego scratch, a pat on the back. But yeah, it is checked quite often, to be honest. Probably too often.
Oh,
yeah.
Callum's face. I'll give you a minute, mate, to get your lips around that, and we'll.
A lovely one to savor.
Indeed. For yourself, Ryan, what out with the breweries and stuff you've already did collaborations with, for yourself, what's a dream collaboration? It can be UK based, it can be international. What would be a dream collaboration for yourself with Vibrant Forest?
A dream collaboration. Do you know what? There's a lot of breweries that I love, but there's a lot of people that I love that are probably from breweries that you maybe not know or maybe not as big. And I found that some of the best collabs we've ever done have been with just like maybe random breweries that I've met at a beer festival, and then we've had an absolute whale of a time. And we get down, and obviously it'd be silly not to say I don't know if this is right to say, but every brewery wants to punch up. Yeah. If you're going to do a collab, you might as well punch up.
That's honest. Yep.
Yeah, so there's ways realistically, we do collabs with breweries that we know or we've met or we've seen at festivals and we've had a beer with and we like their beer and stuff like that. But if it was to be off the sort of over an email chain or whatever, and who would you like to, then you'd punch up, mate, wouldn't you? The sort of Tracks of the world, the Verdants of the world, and the stuff that they're consistently banging out amazing beers, Beaks of the world, those sort of stuff. But we've done some amazing collabs with some breweries that maybe a bit lesser known, but just they make great beer, they're great people, and we've had an absolute blast going down there and inviting them down to us,
So we're not going to get a Vibrant putty anytime soon.
No, do you know what? So I was listening to that yesterday, right? I was listening to the hype beer chat yesterday, and I had a couple of things I was thinking about. Firstly, what brewery wouldn't want it? Like any brewery would.
Oh yeah,
snap
yeah, totally.
bite people's
100%.
hand off for the opportunity. And I think the other thing that's important about that as well, just in terms of a concept of like the hype beers, it's great for tap rooms to have something to put on, like an event, because like tap rooms and micro bars are becoming the new locals. You know, like the old days. You know, 20 years ago, the locals. Except people aren't going to the pub like 20 years ago, every Friday, every Saturday, every Wednesday, every Thursday. So I think the fact that it gives it micro pubs and tap rooms an opportunity to put something on that's kind of pre-packaged. Here you go, you can put this event on. Most owners and sort of bar managers are biting the hand off for it because it's a great thing to have.
You know what? See, in fairness to that point, we should have mentioned that last week, and you're spot on, to be honest, because we did it last year. We went in Edinburgh and we went to when the putty was on. And fun enough, and while he's no here, we can slander the bastard because last week, Big Mark giving it big licks and saying, "Oh, hype
Oh, you
beers,
gave it
blah, blah,
absolute
blah."
pelters. I will never get involved in this.
And
He's
guess
the
what he
only,
bought?
I think he's
Guess
the
what
only
he
one
went
to
and bought?
dive straight in.
He's the only one of us that's done it. Oh, but putty.
Full
Well,
six
you
pack.
fucking cap.
It's
That's
kind of
what I
like
thought.
it's like when your favorite band blows up. You know, the band that you saw in a shitty club down the road, and then they blow up, and you go, "I don't like them anymore," but also I like their album. You know,
No.
yeah,
Oh,
I
I've
got it
the
in vinyl. I got it in normal vinyl and the special edition. But
that's it. Yeah, but
unbelievable they've changed. It's ridiculous.
but like fair play, man. Like it's good beer, and however they've done it has worked an absolute treat. And long may it continue. You know, a good brewery making good beer. It gets those tap rooms and there's micro pubs full on a shitty January Saturday or Friday or Thursday, whatever it be, and creates a bit of buzz. You know what? Who doesn't need a bit of life on a January when everyone's kind
also
of
do it at the right time. It's absolutely the right time. You're spot on there with the if there's a month of the year you need help.
Yeah, for sure.
January, right? You've got. I mean, you've literally got the whole the Holland and Barrett gang.
Yeah.
Against you. Well, you know what I mean. The green. I'm getting green juice for. I'm full fuel for January type deal, and it's like a banana and a salad for your lunch week. Like
the timing's really interesting, and I don't know how sort of on purpose it was, but we found the first 2 weeks of January we get asked non-stop about non-alcoholic beer. Like, do you do it? Have you got any? But after almost those first 2 weekends or those 2 weeks, it really starts quieting down. Like people are looking at the end of the month. So I wonder how on purpose that time, like almost the week before the last weekend, sort of thing. Because that's
really
genius.
Good. It hits it spot on, doesn't it? Because and also that might answer Gavin and Callum and Mark and I have spoken a few times about if you get it day one and you open it day one in the can or you have it day one in the pub, you're thinking, is it a bit green? But if you've ordered it in time thinking, see when I hit see whenever it hits the 1st of February, like whenever at midnight 31st I'm in, then it'll be spot on by then because it's been a week in the. It's not just they've released it, but you've had it a week in the can, obviously stuck in the fridge, or you've went to your tap room early February to go and buy it. It's absolutely spot on by then. It needs that. It's almost like it needs that extra week just to to mellow and become the way to go. But it's still perfectly serviceable and really good day one if you're like, fuck it, I'm trying everything in January, which is kind of been my approach. I've kind of went anti-dry January.
I'm the opposite. I'm like, fuck it.
I've had everything. I've moved the perfect draft, plugged it back in, which was rattling earlier, and I apologise, but it was repressurising for my last pint. And I've tried loads. I've probably tried more beer in January than I did in November and December, which is mental.
Well, one beer that Callum's tried, and I need to hear about it because
we need to hear about
it is top
It's
2
lovely,
can
refreshing
fuel.
stout.
Top 2 can fuel
talk
for
us
me.
through can fuel first.
You're drinking it, so I'll let you kick it off, mate.
Well, aye. This is Ebony Abyss, with a lovely picture of I think I'm going to say it's an anglerfish on the can. One of the creepy bastards that lies on the sea bottom with the light above its head and the millions of teeth and the massive mouth. But this is a bourbon barrel aged imperial coffee stout, and it's spectacular. Like, I mean, I'm surprised you didn't hear it hitting the glass when I poured it out the can. You know, it had that proper fadumph
Thud.
as it landed into the tumbler. But it's really, really nice, and it's really complex. There's you're obviously getting the it's really sweet, but the licorice kind of cuts through that, and there's enough booziness to get rid of that. Like you if you listen to a few episodes back, I talk about like desertification of beers, and you know these beers that are, you know, chocolate brownie fudge cake sundae.
Is that the
banana
was that
split.
the white chocolate white stout Brewtoon one? Was that one?
Yeah. It was, which didn't get me wrong, was a nice beer, but it very quickly becomes too sickly and too sweet and stuff. But there's enough licorice there. There's enough booze there to make it not too sweet, which is just right up my alley. And you're getting those vanilla kind of oaky flavors for the bourbon barrel, which just make it even better. I'm not going to lie. I'm glad I got this review in, because it's a 440ml can and it's 11.5%. So I might be sleeping by the end of the tumbler. But yeah, it's really, really nice. And Gav, good luck if you got this.
No, I'm genuinely looking forward to it.
Absolute lies. That goes into your fridge beside the rest of your pile of the
No,
biggies that you bring up to me, thanks.
No, it's no, because I've actually made a
Have you
massive
emptied them,
dent.
have you?
Aye, there's none left. I've made a dent in them.
That's
But
a problem.
add on, there's a problem for you. Add on to Callum's notes there. I mentioned there it's top 2 can feel. The label is fucking tremendous. I don't even know how you'd fucking like describe that. It's almost like, I don't know, you can hear it there.
Aye, it's like it's smooth.
So what is it?
But
Is it the lines on the can?
Aye, the lines on the can are raised. But at the same time, it's not got that kind of sandpapery feeling.
You can kind of see it.
But the design on the can is the design on the can is by studiopar.co.uk. So I don't know if they collaborate with you on your label.
Yeah, I'll give them a shout out for sure. So Will is director of Par Studios. He's been with us. He rebranded us in 2018, I think it was, to our current sort of logo and design. And he works with some other well-known craft breweries in the country. And he does all our beer with us. We do everything together. We very much are not design people. So we struggle with all, but he comes through pretty much he comes through every time, absolutely knocks it out of the park. But these, we kind of do like 2 or 3 barrel age releases a year, and they always have that sort of almost a black triangle and the lines coming through in the raised lines and stuff. So this is, we did 2 just before Christmas, that one that you're drinking now, and a barley wine. And then we've got 1 more to come, I don't know, maybe February, that we're going to do, that's currently in barrel still. We're sort of playing around with an addition, like an ingredient. We're not really sure yet. So, but we usually do about 3 a year over the winter, and then refill the barrels and try and go again. You know,
18 months. Fuck.
Aye, I mean, it just goes to show that like the time that's invested in it is just incredible. But we've said it so many times that, you know, if you put shit into a barrel, you're going to get shit out. You know. Putting something on a barrel for 18 months doesn't cure a crap beer. So this has been quality when it's went in. It's taken all the goodness out of the barrel and just added to it and made it even better.
It's an interesting one, this, because there is a beer that we make sort of maybe yearly that's the base of this beer called Umbrella Abyss, which is an imperial coffee stout. And then this barrel that it went into, this bourbon barrel, before it had this, it had a plum and star anise stout in it before this one. So I'm sure that adds to the complexity, and the coffee. We use a local guy, comes in the tap room, has a little roasting outfit kind of out of his garage called Red Garage Coffee. And he does all our coffee for us for all our coffee beers. He's in there sort of every other month.
Everybody works a double shift that day, right?
That's it. Yeah. It's a big day. Yeah.
They
go really well.
Battling round about the brew. What do we do next?
Oh my god. Ryan, if you listened to last week's episode, I feel sorry for you, but also at the same time, very much excited for the new segment that started last week, which was What the Dunkel. And I've got a couple more videos that I want to share to just break it up, because these ones are fucking fantastic. So let's go for another rendition of What the Dunkel.
What the Dunkel?
Change that bugger. Anyway, I've got two for you this week. Yeah, let's kick off with this one.
Oh, this one. During a U2 concert in Glasgow, Scotland, Bono asked the audience for total quiet. Then in silence, he randomly started to slowly clap his hands. Once every few seconds, holding the audience in total silence, he said into the microphone, "Every time I clap my hands, a child in Africa dies." From the front of the crowd, a broad Scottish accent pierced the quiet. "Well, fucking stop doing it, you evil cunt."
That's very typical.
That's exactly what you get from an audience.
Stop fucking doing it then.
Stop doing it. And last one is just, I've watched this about a million times. It never gets no funny.
Who was the 16th US president? Have a guess now. Think of US presidents, famous
Nelson
ones.
Mandela.
No, US presidents.
What's his name?
Begins with A.
Albert Einstein.
No, US presidents.
Anthony.
No. Abe.
Abraham
Lincoln. Well done. What's 3 times 6?
26.
No.
24.
3 6s.
12. 36.
No, 3 6s.
28.
No.
6. 12.
27, 24.
38.
2 6s are 12. 3 6s
18.
18.
Oh, geez, that's
Fuck me.
They've had a few 11.5% by the looks of it.
Aye, it sounds like it. Yeah.
Aye. Oh my goodness.
Oh, doesn't matter how many times I've watched that, it still cracks me up. Nelson Mandela. How's that? comes in?
But it's like, it's the like epiphany type. That it's like that is absolutely the answer. Like I've never been more sure in my whole life.
Oh yeah, if you're going to be wrong, be confident. You know.
It's your man going, Anthony. It's Anthony.
Anthony. President
Oh, Christ.
Funny.
Jesus.
Aye, good ones.
Aye, well,
I was
didn't think we were-
was waiting on the North Atlantic fishing boat, but there we go.
No, I did find another one, but I don't want to do it every single week.
Save them up. Save
I'll
them
do
up.
it every bi-week, you know.
Save them up. I bet you're on the moon. TikTok didn't you get actual band? You'd been missing it. I know that was a Welsh one at the end, obviously, but you didn't get the old American. You wouldn't get the old American ones
No,
anymore after the old.
That's
Quite
very
good
true.
though. I say this every time anybody's asked me this week. The IT guy getting quadruple time for cancelling all the code that he'd put in to bin TikTok in America. Made an absolute bomb.
Right.
Airy money. I'll take him Sunday afternoon free if you want, but it's going to cost you.
It's going to cost you a few bob. Ryan, plans for 2025? What beers have we got to look forward to? Any festivals we shall see you at this year?
Do you know what? I was going to ask you about this in a sec. So we're not. So last year we did some of the big festivals up and down London, Manchester, Bristol, a few others.
Yeah, beer ones in, yeah.
Yeah, we're not going to do them this year. So we're going to try and do brewery run festivals this year instead. So I think at the moment we're booked in. We're going up to Liverpool to Black Lodge. We went there last year. They have Craft Beer Expo, it's called.
Yep.
I had an absolute whale of a time up there last year. It was fantastic. And we've got a couple more booked in up and down. We're doing one in Sheffield at the end of February, I think. Yeah, there's a few like that. Sort of Suds with Buds, I think. I don't know if I'm allowed to say this, by the way. I'm not sure.
I can make it disappear.
No, that's fine. So Roosters Festival, we're going up with them as well. So I wanted to come back and do a load of brewery ones. As much as the big corporate ones are cool, there's a lot of people with a lot more money to spend on those things. So we sometimes get put in the corner, who put baby in the corner, you know. So they're fantastic fun and they're really well ran, but they're probably just not for us this year, maybe.
My question about them, like every time I go to them, and I love they're good. Like I've always raved about the one in London. I think the venue's cracking, etc. Every time I've been and stuff, but the one bit I've always like thought of is like how like beneficial is this really for like the smaller breweries? Like yes, the big ones are there, but let's be honest, most people are there. If you've paid your 50 quid, you pay for your ticket, like your beer's paid for. So folk are just flying around, and by the end of the afternoon or the evening session, and the next morning, people can't really remember what they drank or what brewery they spoke to and stuff. So it's just like a whirlwind. I know, like
Unless
when we
you're
go
us
to
and we
these.
make meticulous iPhone notes for
No,
the
well,
first half.
we've got better at it, but it used to be like we would take pictures of the first like 2 or 3 beers, and then by that time we were absolute fucked, and then we forget.
And that still
Yeah.
happens.
That still happens.
It's a really good question because it's one that we talk about in the office all the time. If you're going there to make money as a small brewery, you shouldn't be going there.
No.
So
Correct.
it's marketing essentially, it's brand name and stuff, and that's like farting in the wind. Like who knows? Like who honestly knows? Do you know what I mean? So one person could change the game. Like literally, you could meet one person who knows one person who's buys for a certain place, and happy days. And I think last year, maybe London, we got a few direct orders, maybe like literally the day of or the week after.
Yeah.
But then how do you know that you being there didn't jog someone's memory to order for their bar 3 weeks later? It's such a hard one to sort of quantify and to have any sort of tangible comeback for it. You just don't know. So they're really tough. Like if we had a huge budget, I'd love to go to everything and just have a great summer. That'd be a bloody whale of a time. But
pretty good.
yeah. But they're really tough. They are really tough for small business. I think big guys are a bit different. They've got budgets. They've got people they're there to meet, and they can throw a bit of weight behind it. I mean, for us, we're making the bar sort of the 2 weeks before, and we're going up there. And we've still got the job to do Monday to Friday, and then that's a bonus, So it takes a lot out of us in terms of time and energy and money. But again, you never know. If you don't play the lottery, you're never going to win it, are you? So
that's true. That's very true.
So it's a tough one. I think this year we're putting less pressure on ourselves to try and break through anywhere or find these people. We're just going to go back to the brewery festivals because they're always great fun, and we're just going to have a bit of fun, get the name out there.
It's like what you mentioned before about doing collabs. Like the greatest will in the world, if Track or Verdant or Cloudwater or whoever come knocking or come emailing and say, would you like to come and brew a beer, or we'd be keen to come down and brew, you'd be like, fucking yeah, go for it, no problem.
Absolutely, yeah.
But when it's you that's organising it, you're wanting to go and brew beer with people that you like, people that you enjoy their company. You've got similar types of people, or you get a good relationship with them. So why not be involved in festivals that are organised by the people that you know, the people that you like, the people that are on the same wavelength as you, rather than the big corporate kind of things?
Yeah, I think I don't want to sound like this is sounding really cliche now that I've just said it in my head a little bit, but like I think some breweries and stuff are set out on where they're trying to get to, but for us it's like the journey, man. It's just fun. We're in here because we like making beer and we love the community and the sense of it all, and we just want to keep doing that. We don't have. There's no end goal. We're not getting to a certain point and then going to go and buy a boat and see you later. It's we love doing it. But I suppose in terms of this year, so we've got a few collabs already sorted with a few of our friends, and then we've got a few. We've got a bit of beer coming out. We're doing a few more Belgian style beers this year.
Ooh,
very cool.
Which we do, which our head brewers bang into as well. John, let me give him a shout out because he hates attention as well.
Nice.
But he's an absolute genius, and so he loves his Belgian stuff. So we're going to do a few more of those this year. We've got our annual releases as well. It's not a party or anything, but we do an annual dipper, which is a super puper. So it's a double puper. So we do that once a year, which is really fun. So we'll be doing that again, and then we're planning our big sort of brewery festival in May. We're going to do it in May this year. So we do that once a year at a brewery. It's about 400 or 500 people for like a one dayer. And it's a fantastic day. And we always make sure we've got loads of sort of special beer, local beer, and sort of some pilot brews sort of stowed away for that. So we're looking forward to that as well. So exciting year, hopefully. We've got a bigger team I think this is the biggest team we've ever had now. doing a bit more investing in a few little bits around the gaff, you know, to sort of try and help efficiency and stuff and all those boring things. But yeah, just more of the same, hopefully. Bigger and better things, I hope, you know, and just make decent, good beer and some fun stuff as well.
Well, festival in May is noted. May is my birthday, not the whole fucking month.
You're not far away. That
No,
really,
I'm
about an hour and a half, maybe.
Like you can't look at that on the map, though. I was going to say it's fucking everywhere between where Gavin stays and somewhere else is like 1,000 years. You look at it in the map, and it's like oh, that's a 5 pence pizza away. That should be fine. But then that's like 3 years. 3 years, 2 ferries, 8 buses, and a taxi, and you're in.
I think it's a bit. Southampton's a bit 2 hours away from me, roughly.
That's perfectly serviceable.
Well, right, babysitter, fucking bosh.
Given the speed at which and the frequency at which you make impromptu trips up to West Lothian,
well, exactly.
2 hours to Southampton's no bad.
Exactly.
I'm not sure I've said that anyway yet either. I don't think we've put that out yet, but that's fine. So they'll know now. But yeah, we're going to do it in the first week of May. So yeah, that's always good fun. That'd be really, really good. So yeah, some really good stuff sort of coming up.
Again, if that needs to disappear, Ryan, I can make it vanish.
Honestly, mate, we're good. Like, we're going to tell people anyway. You know what I mean? So, you know, we want them to come.
There's not that many folk listening to this podcast.
I was going to say the entire horse population of the New Forest will be keep fucking queuing up sugar cubes and carrots at the brewery in May. You know, like our New Forest demographic and surrounding area, obviously, and I'm sure I'll pack in a few people for everywhere. You mentioned obviously the campsite thing had me, I don't know about you, Callum, it definitely had me thinking, would gone that far.
I did it.
A worthwhile trip.
We did it about 6 or 7 years ago. We camped in New Forest. And then there was a brewery maybe called Pigtail. Pig
beer, yeah.
That's it.
So that's 20 minutes away. So that's near our bar, yeah.
So seen them, and I don't get me wrong, the camping bit, because it's proper, like, we're just in a 2-man tent. Like, I wasn't a big fan of that.
Gavin's definitely a glamper. I don't know if you could tell that.
I'd rather take Callum's style and steal Callum's caravan. But I have to apologise to Scott, because you had a new beer and I never even asked you what it was, mate.
That's all right. I was waiting until we were building to the crescendo. I sort of would save this beer for then. So I'm having the Dipper, which you kindly sent us, Ryan. So this is the collaboration with Only With Love. It's a double IPA. It's 8%. So I've got you there.
The chances of that?
There you go. Stickers right there, ready to go. And it's called Backwards Marathon, which I'm sure if you have 3 or 4 of these, that's exactly what you'll be doing. It'll feel like 26 miles getting to your bed that night. Which is excellent, and it's superb. It's obviously house yeast, which is superb. But love the kind of differentiation in that, because it makes it kind of unique and makes it a bit different. You've also got daft dry hopping amounts in here. I'm assuming this is a heftily expensive kind of lost leading beer in terms of ingredients and stuff.
There's a fair bit in there. Yeah,
I was going to say it's a pretty serious hop bill. So you've got dry hops of Kashmir, Galaxy, and Sabro. So you've got the bits of melon, you've got a wee bit of tangerine and stuff in there. It gives you enough on the kind of. I would say it's really, really well balanced for a beer that's obviously a double IPA that's got heft. It is alcoholic or super alcoholic on bongo, but in a balanced way. Like, it's not super sugary or super sweet. It's got a lovely bit of balance to it. And then there's with Sabro, obviously you're going to get the hint. I say hint, it's a boxing glove full of coconut somewhere along the line, and it comes right at the right spot. And it's superb. It's an excellent double IPA. Really, thanks, really enjoying it.
What do you fellas think of Sabro?
I love it.
I like it.
So
I like it when it's paired up with things with someone else. I don't.
Yeah. I can't do single hop.
Where it's been single hop with Sabro, and it's too sweet. It's like drinking. I don't know, use of love had it, Gavin. Like it's like drinking a macaroon.
Right.
it's very, very coconutty, and it just doesn't have any. It needs something else. But there's a lot of hops that it works well as an aside, as a pairing, or as part of a kind of trifecta of hops. It sits really well in amongst there, and it gives a bit something different and takes you in a slightly different direction to help with balance. That's my thinking on it anyway.
Yeah, I absolutely love it. And it's an argument we have in the office about, because I just want more Sabro beer. So I'm just going to click this bit up, send it to the team, and then we're good to go. Yeah, no, I love it. I absolutely love it. And I think you're probably right, though. Yeah, on its own, it can be a bit, that's when it's proper Marmite sort of stuff. But I think if you compare it well, it can lift the beer really nicely. Yeah. But yeah, this collab was really good, actually. The Only With Love boys are ones that we met at a festival down in Lewis. We met them up in Liverpool. I actually done about 3 or 4 festivals with them last year, so they were responsible for a few hangovers. But we went down there. We made an IPA with them, which was their strongest beer they'd ever made, like 6%. They're used to doing sort of low and no and like 3-4%. Yeah. And then I think we weren't meant to do a collab until this year, but we were having a beer with them after, and we told them we were brewing a dipper in, like, I don't know what it was then, maybe 3 weeks away, and they managed to make it work, and they came down and sort of chipped in and helped with the recipe and did it with us. So we're really happy with how it's turned out. Yeah, it's a big favourite of ours, actually. And it's gone pretty well. It's gone really well, actually. So I think it's nearly all gone, to be fair.
Given some other timely double IPAs on the market, I would say maybe a slightly more expensive price. $6.50 a can is for that is on the web shop at the moment is absolutely superb. If you want the oomph and all the flavour of a double IPA as you exit dry January, you can only improve your stock in the fridge by emptying Ryan's stock of what's left of the backwards marathon.
Yeah, there's not much left, so be quick. Hurry now. Hurry.
Be quick and forthright in your decision to purchase before I get there as well, because I'm on the website right now. I've just to select the size. I'm surprised it's no XL, double XL, and triple XL. That's
how come every single episode we're doing a brewery showcase by about this mark, but 40 minutes, 50 minutes, there's always somebody one of us on the web shop like filling a cart going.
Somebody has a basket full by this time, because it tells you what ones we're totally on board. It definitely does. We've enjoyed what we've sampled.
One you can add to the list, Gilroy, and get straight in your basket is Inaudible. The Hazy Pale at 5%. We've got
Sorry, I didn't hear you there. What was that called?
Aye, shut up. I'm no fond for that. No fond for that. You nearly had me. Okay. You nearly had me. Chinook, Simcoe, and Talus hops in there.
Oh.
Dank on the nose. Dank kind of melon aroma coming through on it. Lovely soft body. Kind of like lemony. I want to say like kind of grassy and like, but at the same time having those fruity flavors coming through on it as well. Super easy drinking, and this one is absolutely delicious, to the point where if I could see myself, if I had a pint of it, being inaudible, in fact, and just going, oh, this is good in my head.
Ordering 14 more of them right now.
Yep.
This is a weird one. This is a forgotten beer for us. So I did a video on our social media the other day. So it's kind of a core beer now, I guess. We brew it all the time, but we never talk about it. I never talk about when it's in stock again. We never promote it. And then recently, I don't know what it's been like, on a Friday at the end of the day, we've had a couple of beers or whatever, and we've had a couple of these. Like, Jesus, this is fucking good. This. Why aren't we telling people? Like, we kind of forgot a little bit. It kind of just got left behind. So I'm on a sort of resurgence now to sort of shout about this beer a little bit more and try and tell people. I've asked, we might even rebrand it. Maybe that's it. I'm not sure, but we're having a look at it. But yeah, it kind of got forgotten. It's probably our own fault, to be honest. Kind of, there's so much other stuff going on. So yeah, we're kind of trying to shout about this one a little bit more, because it's actually what I'm drinking now as well. I think it's bloody good, this one.
I'm going to snip this bit completely out of the podcast so that nobody else can drink it. Because it's not genuine. It's really, really good. Those kind of like lemony, like really kind of sweet vibes coming through in it, and it makes you want to keep drinking it and keep going back with more and more and more and more and more, and like to the point where you could end up on a backwards marathon like Gil said, and I easily lose the bones from your leg. So I am thoroughly enjoying that.
It's very kind, man. Appreciate it. I do
Tremendous
have a question for
stuff.
you fellas as well, if you don't
Uh-oh.
mind. No. This is opinion stuff, like, because
Well, we're not talking them.
I sometimes forget, like, from a different point of view. So I remember, what was I listening to the other day? You were talking to Brewtoon about artwork and stuff, and about bottle shops and when you go in and all that sort of stuff. So I'm just interested to know from your guys' point of view, as craft beer enthusiasts, like, when you go into a bottle shop, what is the thing that puts you, like, puts your hand in front of you to grab a beer? Is it the name? Obviously, certain artwork you might think, oh shit, what's that?
Yeah.
Ultimately, is it style? Or if you go in there going, I want a saison, but you walk out of a dipper, what's caused that sort of thing? Like, what is the thing that sort of grabs you the most?
Go on, Cal. You can kick it off.
Whenever I go into a bottle shop now, before I look at the shelves, the first thing I ask is what's fresh, what's new, and then I'll have a look. But yeah, I mean, I get the whole. As long as the artwork stands out, it's different from what you're. But that's kind of difficult because everybody's artwork's different. It's really tricky. It's really tricky. I mean, I think I really like the tree. I
think
like
that's
that.
a great logo for you guys.
That would make me pick that can up. If I seen that can sitting on the shelf, I'd pick it up.
You've got 4 or 5 of them, especially. So if the bottle shop that they're in has got, I'm thinking the one I've been in most recently is off license style and high spirits, and they have the breweries together on a shelf, and with that consistency. Other than the collabs, obviously, which have got a slightly different vibe, and you've got slight variations depending on the barrel aged and so on and so forth. But that consistency and having the thing there, but I think the colours are wild enough. I think I also think it's easy enough to read, to turn over the back and read. For me, I like looking at the ingredients and seeing what's in there because we're looking to try something maybe a bit different, or what's that double IPA in it. But also there's if I'm going to try it and I'm going to have it for the first time, it's that it's having a couple of beers in there to that brewery, so not just a random can. A random can would maybe have me thinking that bottle shop's taking a punt of, we've got some of this kicking about, we'll give that to you to have a bash at. But if you've got 2 or 3, I'm not saying it has to be the full core range, but if it's got 2 or 3 of them in there, then I'm thinking it's got the right colours and it has a good description of what's there. Callum talks about that all the time. He loves to see. I mean, Callum would have a peel-off diagram that would tell you exactly how many minutes it boiled for, and things like that. But for me, if it's got a good description of what hops are in there, what kind it's got a good a bit of a story behind it without moving into wackaging territory, then I'm gonna pick it up and take a look at it. The can, as much as you kind of thought if we moved into some kind of weird audio, like kind of sensory touch and feel podcast thing with Gavin's can feel thing, that does have a genuine, it does have a tangible, tactile, if you like, it does have a sway on what you pick up. Because if it feels a bit different to the rest of the cans you've got in your hand, you're thinking, okay, I'll get that. So that's my take. The other kind of things I'm looking at is what's different, what's fresh, what's brightly coloured, what catches my eye.
From the ones most recently where I've picked up, it's a brewery I've not tried a lot of. It's style. I'll see the style and I'll go, right, okay, there's a Westie. The one I picked up last week, which was from Brewing Brothers and what is it called? The Hastings Project. I picked up their beer and it was a German hopped IPA. I seen German hopped IPA and I was like, yep, give me that. Don't care who it is. Yep, give me it. And it's a very simple label. There's nothing crazy about it. But now, next time I go in there, I'll be looking out for Brewing Brothers. I'll be looking out for the Hastings Project. So I think with you guys, like, especially when I go in a tap room, I can see I'll know an Overtone can a mile away. I'll know Christ, in fact, I've picked Overtone now. Beak, I'll know a Beak straight off the bat. as soon as I walk in somewhere. You guys have got
The
that in
tree's
terms of
pretty
like the
sizable.
logo, the tree, exactly. With that tree, you walk and you go, there's Vibrant Forest. I don't need to see anything else apart from that can I can pick up and go, all right, it's a juicy pale, it's a hazy pale, it's a whatever, blah, blah, blah. And then I can turn it. The one thing that I like with your cans as well is, especially with like the pales and stuff, and it's a really educational piece for people that are new into craft and are kind of deep diving into it. Do not age. We've asked the question before, and we've had conversations about what beers can you age, what can't you age, and the ones where you don't age, you've said don't age this beer. Whereas
You
like
love a bit of hiding wisdom at the end, the arse end of a paragraph, don't you?
No, I love it. Aye.
Like we brew beers we love to drink, kind of thing. Right at the end, we'll bury the lead.
All
Right
but
at
the
the end of
detail.
paragraph.
All but the detail.
Don't fucking age this. Keep it in the fridge and drink it within a week.
All but the
Thanks.
detail.
Very,
bit of
very
detail.
a really cool way of doing it, Ryan. It's burying the
It's
lead.
not
in the
buried.
really
It's fucking. It's highlighted in pink.
It's interesting though, because it is like you are right. Like we are going to bottle shops and stuff, and you do. I think there's that you need that fine line between exciting but also recognizable. That's what we try and do.
Yeah.
You know, you want it to be exciting, but also if you have 6 of them lined up next to each other, you want them to know that they're the same brewery to some description. You know, they got the tree and stuff as well, which is really good. Also, do you think this is? I don't know if I'm taking too much time now or what.
No,
but-
go for it,
man.
mate.
Yeah, you keep
go
going.
for it.
So, as sort of craft beer enthusiasts and podcasters, right? So, would you say that social media introduces you to new breweries, or just keeps you up to date with what the breweries you know are doing? Does
Both.
that make sense? Both. But how do you think you're finding these new breweries? Is it because they I don't know, like,
Because
is
for
it-
you,
Because my algorithm's fucked.
Yeah.
Pouring pints.
My algorithm is just full of beer stuff, and it's purely only reason I'll mention it is because like I'll look after the Instagram page and stuff, and I'll find new beers from it'll be said brewery that I know a lot of has done a collaboration with a brewery I've never heard of. Well, cool. Or such and such a podcast, or such and such a blogger, or blah blah blah. People that we follow have picked up these beers. Beer Instagram is where I find most of my new breweries, to be honest. And
Because now it's an interesting one for me, like as a small business. Like if we are, let's say next year we want to invest again in another member of staff, do we, one side is, do we get another salesperson in for look after another region and bring in X amount of pounds a year in sales?
yeah,
Or B, do we take on a marketing person who will do loads on social media, do some YouTube videos or whatever, and loads of marketing stuff, but there's no real way of knowing how much that brings.
yeah.
If we had a good investment and we could bring in 10 people, then fine, we can do both. But if it's sort of one or two people a year, it's an interesting dilemma that we have to sometimes come up with, is what's going to be beneficial and secure for us at the moment. And
I would
tough.
say with that, with regards to the marketing side of things, is with the people that I know are very much kicking about Instagram and making videos and stuff and making these funny videos, like talking to Vault City, talking to Stuart, what other ones, Gilroy, and Cal, other one, Pilot. They're like the master. That's me just thinking of breweries north of the border. They're masters of social media at the moment and making short videos and stuff. Like how much that has an impact. They guys would be. I'll send you some details of one of the guys at Stuart to get in contact with. And like they've been making some hilarious videos over the last year. One of them just so happens to have our faces in it, sadly. But the thing with like social media and stuff is it doesn't really it costs time, yes, but it doesn't cost any money. It just costs time and effort.
We found as well. Sorry, Scotty.
No, I was going to say to go out there and get somebody does obviously. That's what you're saying, right?
Yeah, I think we find like we have good followings on all our pages. We've got a good following on our main brewery page, and we do post. Don't get me wrong, like we do little videos and we do so.
Yeah.
But like we are not. That is not our first desire. We like doing them, but the days come and go, and then you're like, shit, I need to put something on social media. But like, do you? If it's a last thought for you as a business, you shouldn't really do it. Do you know what I mean? You just leave it for another day.
Yeah,
that's
where you've got to maybe think about having somebody dedicated that's their job. They don't have the stress of oh, we need to make this beer. We need to we need to
Oh,
make
absolutely,
these
man.
deliveries.
This is-
but that's the
it's
big
just-
step. Like,
Yeah, it's just thinking out loud, really. Like, I'm interested from a fan, enthusiast point of view, because obviously my algorithm is as well full of beer and stuff. But like, just what you see and how does it drive you? Does it drive you to their website, or is it just more of a, like a couple of months down the line, oh yeah, I've seen them quite a lot recently, and then you kind of feel more at home with them and willing to try. It's just
I
an
know
interesting
maybe
thing.
potentially for my point of view is probably slightly different and skewed probably from like the average craft beer enthusiast, because my thinking when I see a new beer or brewery is right, let me message them, let me try and get them on the podcast, have a chat
Yeah.
with them. That's what my thinking of is. I'm not going to go. I'm going to go and buy their beer. It's more let's have a discussion about it. Let's find out more about you. Let's try and to some degree, as much as we can, help grow your offering and grow your reach as such. So that's where my skew comes. So my opinion is probably slightly null and void to some degree.
No, but it's not. But it's interesting because we look at it from. Well, I look at it from like, what are other people? As any business would. If you've got competitors or friends and stuff, like, oh, that's a really good idea. Can we do that? Yeah, we can do that.
Yeah.
But oh shit, I had to deliver beer all day yesterday. I haven't got time to dance on TikTok or anything. So I'll do it tomorrow, sort of thing.
I know, but then that's the idea of. I mean, if you look at other people, just to throw in another example in the works. So you're saying you did a 5-hour run trip to go and deliver beer. If you stick together some sort of time lapse version of a delivered to here, and here, so you know that here, and here in London's got our beer, again, and here's what we delivered to them. I mean, look at Wasted. Like we speak a lot about, because we're obviously up here in Scotland, and these are the breweries that we get exposed to quite a lot. It's Wasted Degrees. So Wasted Degrees in Blair Athol. How many Fridays have you seen or Saturdays have you seen where Wasted Degrees post a video of their cannon line or the guts of their cannon line, and what they do is they tell you during it, it's totally a nerd video of here's how efficient our thing is. We've done X, Y, and Z with it, or this is how many packages we've done, and it's literally a GoPro on a podium or on a tripod.
It's probably just his phone.
Pointed at a cannon line for 30 seconds, but they're telling you we've got this, and this out in the shop. And for whatever reason, it's got a thing, like it's got that kind of how things work type vibe where folk are watching a cannon line batter along, or they stick their phone on it like it's Yo Sushi or whatever, where it used to go around the conveyor belt and things like that, and they watch it for a bit, but they get it looks really cool. It's a bit different to the rest of the shite in your algorithm, which is fucking Johnny Bucket selling you powder in a glass saying this is the healthiest thing you've ever drunk. But it's a bit different. I'm going like, oh shit, or like you mentioned, Ryan, oh shit, our delivery driver's off sick, so you've got Muggins here is going to have to deliver to fucking 5 pubs in London. You want to watch me fuck this up? Right, okay, here we go. Obviously you've got copyright on the music, but you can take them along for the journey.
It's just interesting to get you guys' point of view, because it's something we've talked about it loads, and we are, like probably everyone is trying to get a bit better at it and stuff in house. And it's just interesting to hear you guys' point of view and what you see and what's on your algorithms, I guess, and what stands out to you as sort of consumers, I guess, of sort of beer content as well as me.
When you're in an artisanal, when you're purchasing an artisanal product that you're paying a wee bit more for than the average Joe would pay for, obviously the other stuff that's available in supermarkets and things. Not only are you buying the liquid in the cans, which is excellent and executed to the fullest extent, but you're also buying people.
Yep.
So you're buying the people that are there. So I think there's people making a living at it, and I think the people that make a living at it doing the marketing for beer and breweries and this kind of artisanal type of craft type stuff are good at making it look natural, because they front up the people that make it. And you buy into a brand because you have an affinity with the people that make it. A lot of the time, it's with the people that are in the local area because they've got the same values and the same way of life, and they share something with you, which is really cool, and it's cool that you've got that. But if you're going to go that wee bit wider, there are a lot of things in common and people's lives, and the genuine, that kind of realism that you're looking to get is what should come through and shine through in the snippets of social media stuff that you do. So whether it's homemade and you do it yourselves, like the guys at Pilot Day, I mean, they never have that Twitter account. And there's some of the harshest critics of both themselves and other people at times. But it's unbelievable the
Just,
stuff they do. It's all made, you know?
just start selling shares and planting trees. That seemed to work with some other.
Well,
breweries.
that's how you do. You just take a bit of the forest and add more trees to it. That works as well.
No.
There's plenty
say
of space out the back there, mate. Yeah, no worries at all.
Ryan, where's the best place people can get hold of your beer?
Right, so get on the website, vibrantforrest.co.uk. We've got a load of stuff coming out in the next couple of months. We've got a big pupa restock on Monday. Well, when this is out, probably just come live now, so it won't last too long. So get on it. Yeah, get on the website. We are about to launch a brand new website within the next 4 weeks, hopefully.
Nice.
So by then it should be all singing and dancing. You can learn a little bit more about us, guys, what we do and where we are and stuff. But yeah, get on the website. That's the best place. And social media is just Vibrant Forrest, and you'll probably see my mug all over it, unfortunately. But I'll be talking about some good stuff, hopefully. So.
Excellent stuff. And if your bottle shop, wherever you are in the country, is not stocking Vibrant Forest, get in touch, and I'm sure
Ask
the
them
guys will
why.
have a conversation.
Yeah.
Yes,
it's aye.
I wanted. We kind of moved away from the
sorry.
beers on the website. I was kind of wanting to talk about one, but
Go on
we kind of moved away.
Well, what
but
did you
it
see?
made me
What
laugh.
did you see?
What have you
Well,
seen?
it was kind of adjacent to your what the Dunkel section, and it's kind of showing the fact that I'm the correspondent for the older.
Yes.
Even though I'm the same age as
The over
everybody else,
70s.
I'm the kind of over 50s, and it's a really old video that went viral. And it was the guy. You know what I'm talking about, Ryan?
Yeah, I've got you.
Surely.
Yeah, I know you want to
Yeah. And it's the guy in Richmond Park chasing the dog that's running after the beers. Running after the deer. Sorry, not the beers. I've nearly finished this 11.5% beer.
11.5,
Can you remember what the dog's name was, Gav?
Me, no.
No, the guy that's running after the dog, who's chasing the deer across Richmond Park in London. And it's just the guy running, and all he's shouting is the dog's name, and it's Fenton.
Oh, fuck, sorry.
Fenton! Jesus Christ! so this is an Idaho Sour and Simcoe Pale called Fenton. And that fucking made me laugh. Like,
Yeah, the can's got a load of dog artwork on it as well.
Yeah. So it's a tree with loads of different dogs around the background, and it's just and Simcoe is my favourite hop, bar none. So I would absolutely pick that up.
As Ryan mentioned, jump on the website vibrantforest.co.uk. Go to the website, get your beer. You're not going to be disappointed. All these beers, genuinely, mate, have been fantastic, and would 100% drink again. Go to social media, search Vibrant Forest. If you haven't already, like, follow, and share. If you've not liked the podcast and you've got this far, Christ, I don't know what's wrong with you. Have a word with yourself. Like, follow, and share all the content. Wherever you listen, as always, you can show your support by giving us a 5-star rating. You can show your official support also by going to patreon.com/beer fridge podcast. You get every single episode early. And when we do some homebrew, you get some homebrew beers as well. Patreon.com/beer fridge podcast. Ryan, absolute pleasure having you on the podcast. It's been an absolute blast. And until next time, for myself and the guys, cheery bye.
Cheers, fellas. Thanks for your time. Appreciate you.
1,